Hey friends, I just discovered a part and was working through it with some friends on Marco Polo and felt to share it here. I felt like I should share it here, especially because as we're all going through some similar things at the same time with this pandemic and different changes in society, it could be applicable. Anyway, I just feel like it's very helpful to share things immediately because instead of later, because other people could be going through the same thing right now. So I just discovered or was making contact with a part of me that goes into frantic thinking with stress. So if I'm currently in stress, or especially if I have a project, a big project or a big responsibility, it'll kind of locate it over my head so that it just hangs over me all the time, all day and all night. And then it'll go into stressful thinking of to-do list of tasks, and it'll be like just constantly be reminding me of like things I need to do, of this, you need to get this done, you need to do this is on the to-do list, remember we have to do this too, and we have to do this, and just all day long it will be barraging me. It'll be like in a mode of, oh my goodness, there's so much we need to do, and we can't take a break from it ever, and we should get it done now. And so then it becomes very focused on wanting to get things, if things can get completed and off the list, then that would be like the top priority. Unfortunately, this totally wears down my health and my uses up my gas tank. I end up like living on fumes basically, because it is not in favor of doing self-care or meditating or praying or relaxing or like socializing. It's just really into, it doesn't want the project that's hanging over my head for me to fail at it or to fail to do it, especially if it's solely my responsibility. So there's like it's not like a group project that you can there's the synergy of other people, or you can benefit from other people's work. It's like on me only. Then it will be really afraid of that, and then unfortunately going into a stressed mental state. Even if I feel like I'm not that stressed, I notice like it actually is happening, and my breathing will be shallow kind of automatically. And even if I get conscious and go, okay, let's do deep breaths, I won't be able to breathe that deeply, and it will automatically go back to shallow breathing as soon as I'm not looking at it. And then my mind will just be fixated on remembering all the things that are on my to-do list and adding more to it. And I should notice I have mask marks still from wearing a mask. So it gets my nervous system pretty lit up. So then even when I'm trying to sleep, if I hear a sound, boing, like my nervous system will go straight to hyper alertness. Like, okay, it was just my cat eating, like come back down. And then if I hear like a little sound, just like it keeps doing that, so I don't sleep as well. And then I end up getting run down, worn out, tired, and fail at whatever the project was. Wow, yeah, so I'm getting more clarity now. I'm seeing how this has been playing out. Because I kept wondering, like, wow, why can't I do something? And there's also a belief somewhere that I've been working on that might be tied to this part of, you should be able to do it. Like, you should be able to do anything that's asked of you. If there's room, every day has 24 hours, you got your sleeping time and then the wake time. If there's any spare empty space in your schedule, we should be able to like plug things into it, and you should be able to show up at that time and do it. And that part will schedule every waking moment. And then when I burn out, or I don't have enough energy to do it, or it takes more energy than I have to do each task, that part is like perplexed, like, what? You should be able to. There's empty time on your schedule, so therefore this should be able. Okay, so then something specific about this is I noticed that if I can get myself to meditate and get present and not focus or think about anything else, just get present, then I start getting like intuitive voicemails of like messages and promptings or answers to prayer, or alignment instructions of like what actually is my top priority, or what my body needs, or what I need. Like as soon as I start meditating, like ding ding ding, like all these voicemails come in that I didn't hear during the day because this part was being frantic and kind of like, frantically focusing on and thinking about those things. And then it gets really difficult to meditate or to do something I know that I need, like relaxing, like go for a walk, deep breathing, laugh, play, fun, exercise. Like as soon as I think of that, like, oh, I want to meditate right now, or I want to say a prayer right now, the part will be like, oh, well, let's just do this other thing first, or like, let's just respond to this text message, or let's just, what if we could probably complete one of our smaller tasks on our to-do list. Let's do that first and then meditate. So like, and then I don't meditate all day long because that part keeps being like, yeah, okay, but let's just do this first. Let's just like fixate on the to-do list. Oh, so I finally saw that today. I saw it. And then unfortunately, we're often counterintuitive. So like the intuitive voicemails or like messages and lessons that I'm receiving intuitively, well, not hearing most of the time, but as soon as I meditate and hear them, they often will solve the problem, of like, Emily, make sure you do your 7-minute meditation every morning. And that seems so simple, and to the to-do list frantic part, that's like, that's not going to solve anything. We've got these big projects. We've got all this responsibility. No, that's going to just waste our time. But actually, that would magically solve it. Because if I can do, well, not always, I'm just saying sometimes, if the intuitive instruction I get is like, Emily, this is a top priority, make sure you do your 7-minute meditation first thing in the morning. Say that 7-minute meditation. During that time, I'm able to get really centered. My body and energy are able to rebalance and refuel and heal. And I'm able to get connected to higher perspectives of hope and faith and priority and how things are not life and death. And allow the universe to support me in my projects instead of thinking like, oh, it's all me, I have to do it. But allow the universe to support me. And then I might receive, during that meditation, I might receive instruction and information and perspectives that help pave the way for my projects to be done easily. Or just a shift in perspective to realize that certain projects don't matter and they don't need to get done. Like all the time, all kinds of things can happen. But when I don't follow my intuitive instruction or lessons or promptings, then this part already believes that there's a big weight on my shoulders that only I can get off, and that completing the to-do list will be the only way to do it. And then its method of like all day and all night, like nose to the grindstone, never forget you have this responsibility, always be working on it, always be working, never play or rest, doesn't work. So some signs. So I didn't quite see that clearly until I noticed some signs of my body getting tired and weak, my breath being shallow, me feeling tired and run down, not sleeping as well, not being able to relax when I wanted to relax and not be able to relax when I wanted to fall asleep, and also craving more sugar or like carbs, like basically simple carbs, and also not being as present. Like often I'm usually very present. I'm present when people talk to me, present when I'm, for whatever experience I'm in, and I notice like I'm not that present, or like I tap out pretty quickly. Like I can listen to my husband talking about something or processing for a certain number of minutes, and then my brain goes kind of into overload and I can't be that present. And then also, so then those were the signs, and then I noticed like, whoa, I really need relaxation and like to rebalance myself, like spend a couple hours in nature or meditate. And then once I noticed that, I'm like, okay, so let's do it. Let's like at least do a 5-minute walk right now. And then my system would go, no, let's hurry and get home and get back to work. And so when I noticed that I couldn't get myself to agree to doing self-care or relaxation, then that was the big notification of like, oh, there's definitely something going on here. Like, what is this? So Now, solutions that have been coming to me are to bring my warrior energy to this scenario, like the warrior part of me that would be willing to fight for what's right, would be willing to do hard things, like go to battle, bring that intensity and like that perspective of like, I would be willing to sacrifice for what's right. I would be willing to fight and do hard things for people I love or for things that matter to me. Do bring that to this, because me getting the self-care, me meditating so that and like getting unblended from this part so that I can work with it and help heal it, like that is top priority. That is very important. So that warrior energy coming in is appropriate. And then like whatever the intuitive messages I get of what would be nourishing and helpful for me, of like doing a 7-minute meditation, praying, laying outside on the grass to ground, journaling, like making that the top priority. Like, this is the most important thing I could possibly be doing right now, more important than anything on the to-do list. And bring my warrior energy and courage to it if needed. And then especially stopping things halfway through, because part of this stress to do it list part will say like, it'll be wanting to like attempt decompressing through playing a game or watching a TV show, and then I'll say like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go for a short walk. I know I can do it. I know that's very important for me right now. And the part, if I can get it to agree, I'll go, okay, after I finish this game, or like after I finish this episode. But then that will often lead into another one, or I'll get too tired and it'll be harder to do a walk. So being willing to stop halfway through and not finish, like not complete this to-do list item, not complete the game, not complete what I was working on. I was like, whatever task I was working on, being willing to stop it halfway through is like a real big, creates a real big, like, what is it called? Like process disruptor, program disruptor. And even though it feels like it'd be really hard to do, as soon as I do it, it creates a big shift of like empowerment, I guess, getting more in contact with myself. So willingness to stop things halfway through, like before they're completed, and do the nourishing thing right now is what I just got. And so that's what I'm going to work on today. And then as I can center and get unblended with that part, then I'm going to help heal that part and address whatever limiting beliefs are involved, and get my system back to center. Because I was just noticing I was getting real tired, or like, yeah, real run down. So I just wanted to share that for anyone else. I know I was talking with some friends recently, and they were having a similar experience of like being just stressed, and then even knowing what would be good for them, but not being able to do it. And then like the more stress they get, the harder it would become to agree to do something that would be nourishing for them, and that would be de-stressing and decompressing. So I just wanted to share this for anybody, whoever this message is for you to have that. And I'm gonna go practice that today.